Now, joining us on the broadcast for more details on this, we have with us Edward P. Joseph, a senior fellow at the Johns Hopkins University School of Advanced International Studies and foreign policy analyst, joining us from Washington, D.C. Thank you for being with us. Now, tensions are simmering in the Red Sea, and there is a real possibility of escalation of the West Asia war. How do you analyze the situation?
Well, we have to, before we can say there's a risk of escalation, we need to see what the impact of these initial strikes are by the United States, the United Kingdom, and its partners in this effort, which include at least one country from West Asia or the Middle East, as we call it from here in the U.S. So we have to see what the reaction is. And the second point is to note that these strikes were taken after a United Nations Security Council vote earlier this week, which condemned the attacks by the Houthis on shipping in the Red Sea. So we see some of these reactions that were noted in your report, for example, from Russia, but Russia allowed that Security Council resolution to go through, which condemned the impact on shipping in the Red Sea done by these attacks by the Houthis. And we should note as well that the U.S., the United Kingdom, and its other partners there in the Middle East did not immediately react to the seizure of a vessel in the Red Sea by the Houthis and to other attacks. They did immediate tactical hits against drones that were incoming, but there were no strikes like these in Yemen itself. Please.
Right. The Houthi officials have called out Washington and they have said that they are ready for an open war. What do you make of this statement, and what could this look like?
Well, again, before we can speak of escalation, we have to see what the impact is on the Houthis, what the strikes actually removed in terms of capacity of the Houthis. Now, we know from experience, including by the Saudi Arabia-led war in Yemen against the Houthis, who have been battling internally for some time, for years now. We know that the Houthis are resilient against airstrikes, because we know that because the Saudi-led coalition in Yemen had used air power to an extensive degree, and yet the Houthis were able to withstand that. So we're in the phase now where we have to see what the reaction is. And here we should note, of course, what the reaction will be in Tehran, because Iran is the backer of the Houthis, the sponsor, and presumably the instigator for these attacks in the Red Sea. And Iran has to calculate itself very carefully whether it wants its proxy, the Houthis, to actually climb the ladder of escalation against the United States and United Kingdom and its partners in the region. Remember, that has risks. That has risks for Iran. It could alter the balance within Yemen itself, because the Houthis do not have complete control. And that, of course, would be a blow to Iran. And Iran also has to be concerned about further escalation that could damage its interests or its ability to project its malign influence in the Middle East. Please.
Edward, thank you very much for being with us and your valued insights and analysis there.
You're welcome.